Long live the king.
Holy fucking shit. Yo, how's it going, everybody? Have I got something completely different for you today? I had a video planned to upload tonight. I've been working on it. And then the trailer for this movie dropped at Comic-Con yesterday. And I could not help myself. I had to make a video on it. I've been saying from the start, it's in the channel trailer, that my passion lies just as much with movies and TV shows as it does with video games. And I've always wanted to do, film content on the channel as well. And, I was going to kind of wait until I had a camera set up and kind of like talk to the camera with visuals in the background before, I wanted that before I started into film content on the channel, but I couldn't help myself. I needed to start now, so I'm just going to do this narration thing, and we're just going to go through this trailer. I want to break it down. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to talk about with regards to this movie. I'm so infinitely hyped for it. I need to vent about it. And so what better way to do that than right here on the channel? So let's get into it. First things first, I do want to quickly give you guys some background / context on my personal relationship with the Godzilla franchise, just so you guys can kind of know where I'm coming from as I'm breaking down this trailer. So my dad, huge horror film, monster movie buff, grew up loving the Godzilla movies, and so naturally, as he did with most of his pop culture loves, he introduced me to the Godzilla franchise at a really young age. So I grew up with a bunch of the toys and games for the PS2 and a box set of a bunch of the Japanese films. And plus, I really loved dinosaurs as a kid, so Godzilla was like right up my alley. And so, yeah, I grew up absolutely loving the Godzilla franchise. And because of that, I think I have a decent knowledge and appreciation of the lore. I'm not an expert by any means, don't get me wrong. I might say something completely stupid when I'm breaking down this trailer, and if I do, please correct me. I apologize in advance if I do. But I'm also not completely dense to the topic either, is kind of what I'm trying to point out here. For example, when I saw Kong Skull Island in theaters, and I saw that after credit scene, I instantly recognized Mothra and Rodan and King Ghidorah in those cave paintings, and I lost my shit 'cause I was like, oh my god, no way those are going to be in the next movie. So that's kind of, the knowledge and understanding I have going into this, just FYI. And then secondly, I also wanted to, make my personal opinions of the 2014 movie known, because I do know that it's a very divisive topic on the internet. I know some people think that it was a really good film, they loved it, and then other people think that it was hot garbage or underwhelming, or that it was an unfaithful adaptation of Godzilla. And so I just want to be clear, I definitely fall in the former group. That's not to say I don't disagree with some of the criticisms of the latter, though. I do think it's fair to say that only having 11 minutes of Godzilla in a Godzilla film is definitely frustrating, especially when it's, a 2 hour plus long movie. And even more so, I get the criticisms against the handling of Bryan Cranston's character. I do think it was really dumb to market him so profusely and then kill him off so early and have him replaced by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is not nearly as capable at carrying, the human story in a Godzilla movie. I'll put it that way. But I still, despite those flaws that I do recognize, I still really love the film on the whole. I thought it was beautifully shot. The CGI was fantastic. And I kind of didn't mind how little we had of Godzilla for so long throughout the film. I like that they kept teasing his fights in the background or on TV screens and whatnot, because it built this anticipation throughout the film that made the final fight that much better. And I don't think it would have been as effective if they had, shown these fights straight from the get-go and then all the way through. Like that final fight, we got some of the best scenes I've ever seen in a monster movie ever. We got, that awesome scene of Godzilla's tail slowly lighting up through through the mist, and we see the blue glow reach up his spines all the way to the top of his head, and then he takes a deep breath and just blasts that Muto with his radioactive beam. And it was just so fucking cool. The entire theater gasped when he did it. It was so awesome. And then, the tail swipe to kill the male Muto. And then, oh my god, probably the best monster kill in movie history, when he grabs the female Muto and fucking breathes his radioactive beam down her neck, severing it from her body, and then roaring in triumph as he holds the severed head in his hand. Like, come on. That movie gave us those scenes, and I have to give credit where credit is due. And so I know a movie is more than its 20-minute final scene, but that 20-minute final scene was absolutely fantastic. And all the movie before that, leading up to it, is worth it, I think. So on the whole, I do really actually enjoy that movie. And so I just, I wanted to make that clear going into this. So no more, talking about, let's get into it.
Our world is changing.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here already because I have some things I want to say about the casting of Millie Bobby Brown in this movie. So, I am an absolutely massive fan of Stranger Things. It is easily already one of my favorite shows of all time. And I could honestly say so many good things about it, but I have no doubt that I'm going to make several, if not more than several videos about Stranger Things on this channel at some point in the future. So I'll save it for later, but what I will say here and now is that I'm a huge fan, especially of the kid actors in the show and how they, how they portray their roles. And that goes double for Millie Bobby Brown as Eleven. I think she's a fantastic actress, especially for her age. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing her in her first movie role in this film. I think she'll be great, honestly. I can see where some people are coming from with the whole, as she's just doing 11 again. Like, it's kind of funny, I get it, but I think realistically, she probably has the range to pull this off. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but I think she can do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause. We are the infection.
All right, we're going to pause here on this dope-ass shot because there's a couple more things I want to touch on now. Firstly, I'm not really sure. I couldn't pinpoint which city this is. I want to say Chicago, but I really have very little to go off based on that. So if anybody else knows what city this is, please, write it in the comments below. But clearly what we have going on here, I feel like this is earlier in the movie. Some kind of storm is coming in, and see, I wonder if it's King Ghidorah because he's capable of creating hurricanes with his wings. But that would go against my gut feeling of this being earlier in the movie because I don't feel like they would reveal King Ghidorah so early. Although maybe they don't actually show him. Maybe they're just showing his after effects here. I'm not sure necessarily about that, but definitely this storm is made by one of these monsters. I'm almost sure of it. And looks like Millie Bobby Brown here, or her character's name, I believe, is Madison Russell. Looks like Madison here is about to get caught in the brunt of it.
But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a
My boy Bradley Whitford, so excited he's in this movie.
fever to fight this infection.
And Vera Farmiga. Honestly, this cast in this movie is great. I can't wait. But yeah, Vera, I mean, I know her best personally from the Conjuring films. Those are two really good horror movies right there. Well, I say two. I'm pretty sure there's actually like 5 in that, universe. But anyway, I think she's a great actress as well. And can't wait to see the dynamic. Honestly, couldn't have picked a better mom for the Millie Bobby Brown character, I think.
It's original, and rightful rulers, the Titans.
All right, we just hit a lot more yes factors in a row right there, so I'm going to hit them all off right now. Yes to Kyle Chandler. Yes to O'Shea Jackson Jr. Yes to the return of Ken Watanabe. And absolutely yes, a million times yes, to the usage of Claire de Lune in this trailer. Oh my god. What a fantastic choice. Completely unexpected. Although then again, the trailer for the first Godzilla, the 2014 one, had that really atmospheric, choral humming in the background. So maybe this isn't too far-fetched. But yeah, I think this was brilliantly scored, this trailer. And, Bear McCreary is scoring the film itself. And honestly, I'm super looking forward to that because I love Bear McCreary's work. I mean, I know he's big because of Battlestar Galactica, and he did God of War recently, and the Cloverfield Paradox. I know him again personally the best from The Walking Dead. I used to love that show, and he did the theme for that and all that shit. So anyway, perfect composer choice, I think, and perfect trailer song.
For thousands of years, these creatures have remained in hiding around the world.
Oh yeah, and Sally Hawkins. Like, the cast just keeps getting better and better. Funny story about this though. When I first saw this trailer, I was like, oh my god, they got Sally Hawkins for this. Good idea, because she's just coming off the hype from The Shape of Water. And then I realized that she was actually in the first one, and I had just completely forgotten about that. But anyway, glad to see that she's returning. And so bam, there we have Frozen King Ghidorah. I read that apparently, all three of the monsters appearing alongside Godzilla in this film, have been on Earth the entire time. So Mothra was apparently in a chrysalis that we'll see later in the trailer, and Rodan was hibernating in a volcano, and King Ghidorah is apparently frozen in a big-ass block of ice. And I have no doubt that the reason he gets out is probably because we humans fucked up or some shit.
And unless all the Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we. They are the only guarantee that life will carry on.
Alright, so here we saw the chrysalis where Mothra is going to, I guess, be birthed from. We see here Mothra in the larval stage, meeting Millie Bobby Brown's character and Vera Farmiga's character. And for those of you that don't know, Mothra is actually a benevolent monster in the Godzilla universe. So I'm assuming, in this movie, Mothra will be on Godzilla's side. I don't think they'll fight at all. I mean, hopefully. I think it's going to be Godzilla and Mothra versus King Ghidorah and Rodan. We'll see if Rodan stays on King Ghidorah's side the whole movie. I hear he's apparently a bit of a wild card. But anyway, here we have Mothra, meeting and most likely forming a bond with Madison that will no doubt play a role later in the film. Now we arrive at what are essentially the two best parts of this trailer, in my opinion, back to back here. This being the first part where we finally get to see Godzilla in all of his infinite glory rise from the water and breathe his atomic breath into the sky. And perfectly timed, might I add, to the swell of Claire de Lune. Hence why I said earlier that this song couldn't have been more perfectly matched with this trailer. But anyway, I also wanted to highlight this shot because it's a really great instance of three things that are looking good for this film. One, the lighting looks fantastic. I mean, the way his breath illuminates the sky here and his body contrasted by the mist of the rainy night is just really well done. Then secondly, the sound design, something I didn't really get to touch on when I was talking about the 2014 film, but that I meant to touch on because the sound design was really good then, and it seems like it's really good again now. the sound that they have for his atomic breath charging up, and then his roar, which we hear later in the trailer, so good. And then finally, the sense of scale, and this was something I was really worried about with the change in directors from Gareth Edwards to Michael Dougherty for this one. I hope I pronounced that right, because Gareth Edwards does scale really well. He did it really well in a lot of his movies, and Godzilla 2014 was no exception. I thought he nailed it, and so when I heard he wasn't going to be on board for this one, I was, I was worried we were going to lose that, majestic sense of scale that he gives these monsters. And it looks like Dougherty knocked it out of the park with this shot and the next shot and quite a few of the other shots from this trailer, honestly. So no worries there. I mean, holy fucking shit with this shot. I mean, that is God tier cinema right there. I don't know what else can be said. Like, everything I said about the last shot is ditto for this one and then some. And it's shots like this that make me just so confident that this is going to be a next level movie. And here we get our Rodan reveal. Rodan is probably the one out of the three monsters appearing in this movie that I know the least about. But he's also one of the ones I thought was the coolest as a kid because, like I said, liking dinosaurs, he was a pterosaur. I mean, it just, worked perfectly. But yeah, I hear he's a bit of a wild card in terms of the Godzilla lore. So he kind of doesn't really pick sides. He just fights whoever pisses him off. So I imagine he'll probably fight Godzilla earlier in the movie, and then maybe team up with him in the end to fight the big bad King Ghidorah.
You are out of your goddamn mind!
I am sorry, but this is the only...
The epicness levels of this trailer keep rising. I can't handle it. The first time I saw this, I almost died. But I also wanted to point out, it's so fucking crazy that Rodan just flying over a town can actually decimate it. Like, these monsters are so big and so powerful, and this trailer makes that so evident. And I cannot wait to see the destruction that they cause as they fight each other. Here we get to see King Ghidorah's gravity beams, so clearly they will be making an appearance in this movie. Rip Godzilla. So here's this trailer's kind of only reference towards the human drama side of this movie that we're probably going to be getting, which seems to revolve around the Russell family dynamic. So we have, Madison and Emma, who I've already introduced as, the mother and daughter. But then Kyle Chandler is playing Mark Russell, who is the ex-husband of Vera Farmiga's character, Emma, and the father of Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison. So it seems here, based on this picture, I mean, I already know that, they're divorced when the movie starts, but there's a second sibling here. And I wonder if the divorce has something to do with whatever happened to the second sibling who we have not seen. Just after we get the patented 11 scream is something that I kind of wanted to point out, although I don't know what to make of it. This looks to be an underground city of sorts that gets blown up. So don't know what that's about, but certainly interesting. And this is another absolutely bonkers shot that I love of just the absolute destruction. Honestly, the cinematography of this movie looks top notch.
You're a monster. I'm sorry.
Yup, and here we get one of the other money shots of this trailer, our reveal of King Ghidorah free at last. My goodness, did this give me goosebumps.
Long live the king.
I almost forgot Charles Dance is in this movie too. Good old Tywin Lannister. Still talk about kings even in this universe. lot of quick action shots there, but I don't think we missed anything too important. But I did notice, in the shot just before this one, that it looks like something's flying in the sky over that rig. I'm assuming it's Mothra, because it looks more like an angelic glow than a demonic, hell-bringing glow like King Ghidorah might have. So maybe Mothra's coming to rescue whoever's on that rig. Looks like maybe Kyle Chandler. Then we have here Madison smiling at who I think is Godzilla coming to save the day. And there we have it, the iconic roar to end this trailer. Godzilla probably going into the final battle there against King Ghidorah, fighting side by side with the humans in their jets. Can't get much more epic than that. Which, yeah, does bring us to the end of the trailer here. So I guess with my closing thoughts okay, so obviously this is only a trailer. Trust me, I'm well aware that the quality of a trailer doesn't necessarily always indicate the quality of the final product. We've been fooled before many a time, cough, Suicide Squad. But I'm willing to get my hopes up for this movie because there's so many promising things from this trailer. And I'm even going to go out on a limb and say I think they fixed the screen time qualms from the first one. I think we're going to get a lot of monster time in this new movie. I think they heard us, and I think they're going to give the people what they want. Come back here and tell me I'm an idiot if I'm wrong in a year. But honestly, I am so excited for this movie. I hope you enjoyed watching my little breakdown review here. If you want to see more stuff like this, please let me know. I'm always down to talk movies. Thanks for watching. Peace.